Switch
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah. I hope the Switch 2 has a very, like, a lot better.
This one's gonna take you for a ride.
Wanna take you for over? Oh my God, that's it!
7 arcade games featuring Marvel and Capcom characters are fighting their way onto Nintendo Switch as one collection.
Ain't no fucking
Flash
way!
and X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Ah!
Duke it out in Marvel versus
Oh!
Capcom 2: New Age of Heroes. Take down the Kingpin in the
Marvel vs. Capcom 2, they're fucking huge! Chat, you don't understand how huge it is that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is released on a fucking, like an actual thing to buy. Because it's been locked up. It's been locked up forever. And they've never resold it on anything ever. The only way you could play Capcom Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was on PC on Fightcade. This is fucking massive.
Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics launches on Nintendo Switch this year.
That is fucking massive. Holy shit. A Marvel vs. Capcom collection. Dude, this is nuts, man. The entirety of Marvel Versus, like the entirety of it. Dude, you know what's funny? I expect, like, I was looking at this and I was gonna be like, no way. It's also gonna be on PC and PS5? Wait, this? The collection? This collection is gonna be on PC and PS5. Look on Steam. Ain't no fucking way, dude. Oh my fucking God. Wow, dude. Capcom is mega pushing to gauge interest. Mega pushing. On PC now? Now a legit backed, like Capcom backed system where you can actually finally play Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Dude, look at this artwork. Capcom is back, baby. Dude. The Versus franchise for Capcom is fucking back, dude. It's fucking back, man. Holy shit, hold on. I gotta bring up this image. Oh my God. Dude, this is fucking insane, bro. This is actually insanity. Dude, look at this artwork, bro. All new artwork for it. So sick, man. This is insane. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I literally thought we would never see this. Dude, this might be, honestly, their biggest fighting game collection ever. Dreams do come true. It's nuts, man. They're putting a lot of money into this. They're putting a lot of money into marketing. Brand new artwork and stuff. Like, this stuff isn't cheap, chat. And they don't do this. Capcom just doesn't do this for no reason, right? Commission, like, brand new, amazing artwork for this. They're gauging interest. Dude, what a era to fucking live in, dude. Capcom is a whole nother dimension that they've ever been in before, man, with this. It's actually insane. They're in a whole different league now. This is the greatest era of Capcom ever. This is actually insane pills, bro. We're living in the correct timeline. Oh my God. I can't believe this, man. Holy shit. This is Maximilian Dude's canon event. Dude, he's probably busting the biggest nut wad ever, dude. He did a whole campaign, I think in like 2022, 2021, to get Marvel 2 released out of the vault. Like it was like trending on Twitter and everything. He was trying everything he could possibly do to get this game unlocked out of the vault. It's really something else. Because for me personally, like I have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 rated as my favorite game of all time. As my favorite game of all time, man. And it's not just because, like, I was a little kid. I was a little kid when Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was out, right? And I remember my first introduction to, like, actually to video games was in a GameStop, a local GameStop that had a MVC2 cabinet. And, you know, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. So I didn't have consoles when I was very young, right? When I was very young, I didn't have a lot of consoles and stuff like that. So I couldn't get like a Sega and stuff like that. I had to pick like one, and I had a PlayStation. And I remember before I had a PlayStation though, my first introduction to video games was Marvel vs. Capcom 2, because my dad did construction, and he would go on job sites all around the city. And my mom was the manager of like those jobs, while my dad was like the head like construction guy. On weekends and times after school, you know, I would have to go on the job sites, you know, and try to entertain myself. Luckily, one of the jobs during the summer was right next to a local GameStop, and my mom took me to the local GameStop to play hours and hours and hours and hours of MVC2. Just literally all day. I would spend 6 hours just putting in quarters into that into that cabinet. I solely funded that GameStop's entire purchasing of that cabinet, man. That's how long I stood there playing that game. And I was a little kid, so I didn't understand really what the fuck I was doing, but I understood that if I press this button after this button after this button, it would lead to a combo. I'd understand that much, man. Dude, I spent so many days, so many hours every day during that summer playing that I would beat grown-ass men and teenagers at this game. And that's when I first got my introduction into a competitive video game aspect. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 gave me a personality trait. It gave me a personality trait. My competitive personality trait. Like this game shaped me so much as a kid, and you know, has a lasting effect on me as an adult, man. Right? I owe this game my competitive nature at not just video games, but in just life in general, to want to do better, to want to get better at things. Right? And so many, like, the songs, the music, you know, it's hard to put into words like what this actually means. That it's not, it's like Capcom is you know, realizing that people want this game, right? Because you can play it on like a PC and on like 1-up cabinets, but this game has been locked away for so long, and for so many people, me included, it's been such a pivotal part of people's lives, man, of just growing up. You know, I owe a lot of like how I compete just to this game. And this is where my love of like fighting games and my love of competing against another person, you know, where my competitive nature for like first person shooters or Call of Duty and Halo and all these other like games that pit you against other players, it comes from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's where it came from for me. And for a lot of other people, this is going to ring true for so many people, man. It's going to be the same exact thing for so many people. I fucking love this game, man. I fucking love this game. Dude, I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy that they finally did this. It's really something else, man. It's really something else. This is to gauge interest in things. Right? Capcom releases collections to gauge interest in their fan base and in a consumer market. To see if, people want this shit. People like this shit. People will pay money for this shit still. This is literally a gauging metric. Look at this as a gauging metric. This is amazing. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 finally being fucking taken out of the vault officially, and not just in the hands of like fans or anything, but finally, you know, officially backed by Capcom, not just like on, you know, Fightcade or Ready Up One cabinet, but actually on like console and easily accessible. Because here's the thing, like, yes, you can play Marvel vs. Capcom on Fightcade on your PC. You could play on a one up arcade cabinet, but that's not like general consumer, like easy access, right? That's not easy accessible. Most people who would play this want to play it on console. They don't want to go through Fightcade, because Fightcade isn't just something like you go to Steam and you purchase it and you play it. Fightcade is a completely different process, and to some people, to a lot of people, to the general like consumer base, it's more daunting to do that than to want to actually play it. They want to play it, but it's just too daunting. And a lot of people who grew up with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, a lot of people who grew up with these old Capcom games have families, dude. They have a lot of shit going on in their lives, and they don't have time, or they don't have the drive to essentially figure out how to work a computer software to run this stuff. But now this is just super accessible. You go to Steam, you buy it, and then you hit play, bro. That's it. And that's all it is now. That's all it ever should have been. Why Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was locked up is bullshit. But finally, dude, it's back, man. And the thing is, man, they use this as, like I said, a gauging metric to really gauge how everyone feels about this still. And what you've seen recently from the community of Marvel is insane. Is actually insane. You have the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate Edition, and with the fan, here's the thing, the Marvel games have been stood up by the fan base for years, with the modder community and the fan base putting their money behind the mods and stuff like that. Like that version of the game, like the modder community doing that stuff, it's by stood up by fans for years. Capcom owes the fans. It owes the fans everything for standing up this community. And then the recent ongoings with like Maximilian Dude's personal endeavors of making MVC2 a completely new game, of putting his own money into it and hiring a shit ton of people to work on that game. You know, it shows that people fucking care. That people just fucking care about Marvel vs. Capcom. However they can get it, whichever way they can get it, however much they can get, they fucking want it. Right? It shows it so much. And now they're putting this out to gauge it officially, to see the interest in the actual company of the said product. And so what I see beyond the surface level of them just bringing this back, my personal belief of what they're trying to set up here, what they're trying to actually gauge with these collections, with this specific collection, a Marvel vs. Capcom fighting collection arcade classics, what they're trying to gauge for this is an understanding of their fan base and their market of if people want another Marvel vs. Capcom. If they want another Marvel vs. Capcom. And let me fucking tell you, they do. But beyond that, beyond just another Marvel vs. Capcom, Capcom for years have been buddy-buddy with SNK. Years. There's a whole, obviously Marvel vs. SNK and SNK2, obviously, right? But going beyond that, they've been buddy-buddy for years. With this fighting game collection, they're gauging to see how many people, how many fans, the fan base, right? How interested they're in another Marvel vs. Capcom. But I think it's more than just a Marvel vs. Capcom. I think it is. I think they're gauging to see something bigger than Marvel vs. Capcom 4. I think they're trying to set up Marvel versus Capcom versus SNK. I think they're going to try to do something unprecedented, something massive, because they've seen, Capcom has literally seen their own IP with Street Fighter 6 pop the fuck off. Tekken 8 has popped the fuck off. I think they're going for an unprecedented level of hype for their own fighting game franchise. They're trying to go beyond Tekken 8 because right now, like Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 are blockbuster hits, man. They're doing fucking gangbusters. I think Capcom is going for a Marvel vs. Capcom vs. SNK game. I think they're trying to hit the biggest fighting game announcement and project of all time. They're going for it. They're really going for it because what did Street Fighter just recently do? They put in Terry Bogard and they put in Mai. And for the longest time, outside of a versus game, Capcom with Street Fighter never does pure guest characters. They never do pure guest characters. Meaning they don't go outside of Capcom. Like they'll bring in like their own characters like rival schools and stuff like that in their Street Fighter games, but they will not travel outside of it. Having SNK, Terry Bogard, and also Mai coming in is insane. And with this announcement, they're gauging certain things. And they're going for Marvel vs. Capcom versus SNK. They're trying to blow the roof off. They're trying to blow the roof off of the biggest fighting game project of all time. That's what I'm getting the feel from this. That's what I'm feeling from this. And that would shatter the game industry. Beyond the niche of fighting games, that's industry news. That is industry news. And a whole new agreement had to be made with Marvel. This means that a whole new agreement has been made with Marvel. They're back on the talking tables now. They're back at the negotiating table. They're working with each other. Because to make this, they had to get agreements for the artwork, and they had to get agreements to release Marvel vs. Capcom 2. They're 100% engaging it. There's a brand new deal on the table now with Marvel and Capcom. A brand new fucking deal. This is insane, dude. This is nuts. This means so much. Part of Capcom's resurgence, they are back at the negotiating table. Yeah, I think so. 100%. MVCI was such a flop. It was thought so it did. The thing is that MVC3, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, was the beginning of a snowball effect, and they were barely the only way MVCI worked out is because old heads of Capcom and Marvel got into the same room with each other, and people from people who used to work at Capcom were now working for Marvel, and people who were working for Marvel are now working for Capcom, right? During this time of MVCI. And they were able to get everyone together enough just to make MVCI, just to make it. And then the way it turned out, it did crush a relationship. It did. But dude, ever since Capcom released Resident Evil 2 Remake, they just been hitting banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. And don't forget Monster Hunter World too. Hope for a real MVC4. I don't think it's going to be an MVC4. I don't. because with the with like SNK being Capcom's like best friend for so many years, right now, and then them putting in Terry Bogard, like think about it, the very first actual guest appearance in a Street Fighter game is an SNK character, is Terry Bogard, right? And then Mai's also coming. You take that and they have SNK, they're in negotiations with SNK, right? And they're doing all this dealings with SNK, and now they're back at the table with Marvel. Dude, they're going for a Capcom, they're going for a Marvel vs. Capcom vs. SNK game. It's hard enough with one company reaching a licensing deal with Disney, let alone two. Yeah, but I think here's the thing, like Capcom and SNK have been doing dealings and putting each other's characters in other games and mashing and collabing in games for so long now. They're like family and business dealings pretty much. And all the fight, like here's the thing, right? The fighting game developers are they're like this, man. They're like this. They work together on almost everything. Like they take advice from each other, they work on stuff. The Capcom and SNK dealings are there. They've been intertwined and interlocked for years now. They're there. The only company they need to bring in for it is Marvel. And this is it. This is it. They already have them. And I think they've been talking, they've probably been in negotiations for a long time. So I don't think SNK is like something to be wary of. Like that's not going to be the hard part. The hard part is the negotiating with Marvel. And with this collection coming out, a new deal being put in place, they have it. They have a collaboration in the works, right? They're talking. So I really do think they're trying to push for a massive hit. A Marvel vs. Capcom vs. SNK game would shatter the industry. Like this goes beyond. This 100% goes beyond just a fighting game genre niche. This is industry news. It might not even be Capcom who will develop the game. It could be SNK who develops a Marvel vs. Capcom vs. SNK game. It might not even be Capcom. This is still gauging the market for a new versus game. And Capcom and SNK are so tight with each other that they would bring, like Capcom would bring SNK to the table with Marvel, and they would all three of them talk to each other. I would not be surprised if SNK is actually going to be the developer of a Marvel vs. Capcom vs. SNK game. Dude, this is so sick, dude. Like brand new artwork, new design and stuff like that for the characters. I really do think it's coming. I really do think it's coming. I don't think they're just going for MVC4. Yeah. I think so. That's what they're going for, man. That's what they're going for. Marvel vs. Capcom vs. SNK.